Generic greetings and welcome to the 3rd annual Generic Award Ceremony 2015 edition. I was going to rename this thing the Generic Awards Simulator 2015, but I thought, we got 3 in a row, so we'll stick with it. So, this is the time of the year when I take the opportunity to go back over the past year of gaming on the channel and hand out awards that mean absolutely nothing, but does give me an opportunity to pretty much talk about the games a little bit more and maybe bring a little bit more attention to them. So, I do have a beverage here with me. It is Christmas Delight, it's called. It's basically like a shake mix you put in with milk, and it's, to be honest, it's just vanilla and cinnamon flavouring, and it's a bit crap, but you know what? It's as Christmassy as we're going to get around here. So, first award, we're going to jump straight in because, honestly, the last time I did one of these, it was over an hour long, so let's just go and straight crack into it. So, game that makes me feel stupider than normal goes to Infinifactory. Infinifactory is a game Zachtronics, he made, among other things, Space Chem, and it's basically a puzzle game where you have to make something, and it'll give you a pattern, and it'll say, this is what you need to make, and there's your parts, and you have to make conveyor belts and welders, and pistons and lasers and all sorts of stuff, and it's really, really good, but I'm not that good at it, because it's a puzzle game, and I have a love-hate relationship with puzzle games. I managed to do several of the levels, but really just give up after a while, because yeah, I don't have that much patience with it, but it really did make me feel a bit stupid after I did a couple of levels and went, oh yeah, that's not too bad, and then came back to like one of the earlier ones and went, how did I not think of that? But it's a really smart game, really interesting game, but it made me feel really, really dumb. Next game, a game I tried after only reading the concept, that goes to Duskers. Now, Duskers' concept was very, very simple. You're a drone pilot, you go to abandoned spaceships and space stations and send your drones in to scout. Now, normally what happens is I get an email or someone will drop me a tweet or whatever saying, hey, I've got this game, do you want to check it out? And they'll send me the link and maybe a video, blah, 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 all the press kit stuff. And I look at it and go, yeah, I'll check the video out and read about it and stuff like that. But with Duskers, I think someone said, hey, do you want to check this out? I looked at the website. I got an email saying, hey, this is a game called Duskers about this, and told me the concept and I went, yep, okay, give me a go, send it. I didn't look at the screenshots, I didn't look at the website, I didn't look at the trailer or anything like that. I just give it a go based on its concept. And yeah, there's a couple of games I've done that with, but Duskers is the one that I really didn't vet at all. I know there's a lot of games I've just got sitting there and I haven't touched them, but Duskers I just went, yeah, I'll take a chance, why not? Next award, game that I lost an entire weekend to after only wanting to try it for a bit. Now, I've had a couple of games do that. I know there's a couple of games where I've jumped on them and played them for several hours, but when I played Warhammer the End Times Vermintide, I think I got it on Thursday, I think it was. It might have been Thursday or Friday. And before I did basically between either Thursday or Friday when I got it and the Monday morning when I recorded the video, I'd played over 20 odd hours of the thing. I lost my entire weekend to it. I pretty much ate, slept and played Vermintide. I did a bit of breathing in there as well, but basically I lost my entire weekend to it. And although the game is quite derivative, it's basically Left 4 Dead in the Warhammer world, it is a really good one. So yeah, not a bad one at all, that. I've lost weekends to it since then as well. Next award, game I want to play more of but didn't. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, Factorio and things like that, but Software Inc. is a game that I featured. I played it for a couple of hours and went, ooh, this is a really good game. This is very, very in-depth, very complex. It's about, well, a lot of people say it's like Game Dev Tycoon, but it's nothing like it at all. You can make games, but it's about making software, and you can actually go and do like you actually build. It's sort of Sims-ish. You build the rooms for people, and you furnish them all, and you put different pieces of like equipment in it, so server farms and air conditioning and computers, and you have to hire PR and things like that. And it's a really in-depth game, and I really wanted to play more of it. After I did my preview, I played it a bit more, and then sort of left it a bit, and then wanted to come back to it. And then I tried it a couple of weeks later, couldn't get into it, tried it again, and basically for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month or so, I keep trying to play it over and over again. And after about 15 minutes, I goes, no, I'm not too bothered. I don't know what it was. I just don't think I was looking for something like that. I don't think I was looking for something as in-depth, and I haven't really tried it for a couple of months, and I know there's a patch out, so in the new year, I think I might try it again and hopefully get a series done in it. Also, people always say, oh, play Factorio, I wanted to play more but didn't. But a lot of people say, you should play more Factorio, but I don't know where I can go with that one. But I definitely want to play both of them some more. And there's a lot of other games I really want to play some more, but I just haven't. But anyway, yeah, Software Inc. Good one. You should probably check that one out if you like to build lots of stuff, actually build things and actually generate software or make software and stuff. Quite an interesting one. Next award is the game I kept going back to, or keep going back to, I guess. Now, you would think, oh, it's going to be Prison Architect, but not really. It's actually Airships Conquer the Skies, because I've featured it for a couple of years now on the channel, I think. About a year and a half at least, I would reckon. But the thing is, Airships Conquer the Skies is something that I really do just keep going back to, regardless of whether there's a new patch or what. Even if there's a new patch, I'll generally come back to it and go, oh, we'll have a quick mini series on it, and that might turn into like 10 episodes or something. But even if it's only a couple, it's quite interesting. And even now and again, I'll get emails or tweets that'll say, hey, have you tried this in Airships? And I'll give it a go. I'll just fire it up and give it a go and do a quick beverage video with it or whatever. But I do keep going back to it. Prison Architect and other such games, I'll generally only play them when there's a big new patch out, and even then it's normally only one in every 3 times, so I guess it's sort of around that area. But yeah, Airships Conquer the Skies, a game that I do keep coming back to, and when version 8 comes out soon, hopefully, I'm going to be jumping on it some more. This beverage is quite nice. Excuse me. Next award is Game That Kept Me Coming Back for More. Now, I say that because the Guild of Dungeoneering is like a bit of an abusive spouse. You love them, but really, you don't like getting punched in the face. The thing is, Guild of Dungeoneering is like a typical card game. It's like every other card game you've played. You'll just draw some crap and you'll lose. You'll just draw some good cards, but the enemy will draw the counter and you'll lose. And honestly, it's like trying to knock down a brick wall with your face. Eventually, you'll get there, but you'll come out of it with some bruises and maybe a mild concussion. And after maybe a week, I did complete the Guild of Dungeoneering and actually enjoyed my time with it and would recommend it, but only if you are accepting of the fact that you will probably get pissed off a lot of it. But as I said, overall, really did enjoy it, and I really like the way it looks. It's very simplistic, and the bard that follows you around that sings like the Dungeoneering songs and stuff is really cool. Next award is Game That Shouldn't Be As Much Fun As It Is. TIS-100 or TIS-100 or whatever you would like to call it is a game about, I think it's programming in BASIC, and the idea is that there's a computer found, and I think it was given to you. That's the in-game story, and you have to find out what it's about. Or I think your uncle or someone was trying to find out about it. But the really good thing I like about it is you actually have a manual that you physically print out, and it's more like a toy, and you flick through it and it tells you all of the stuff in there and how to program it. I honestly don't know who the game was built for. I don't know who it was designed for, but it's one of those games that out of everything else on this list, it might not be for me, but I'm really glad it exists. It's one of those things where it is niche, but it is good niche. It's not just like, oh, this weird game that, you might play as a joke. It's a serious game. It's interesting. It's got a really intriguing story. I like the idea of lost technology that's sort of been lost in time. We don't know what it was about, and all the information's gone about it, and then rediscovering it, and that sort of archaeology of old technology. I really like the idea of that. But TIS-1000, it shouldn't be as much fun as it is, because it's basically you sitting there on a really blank, boring screen, no or very little sound, no soundtrack, and trying to program. And yeah, I really wish I could play more of it, because it's almost in the same level of game that feels me like games that makes me feel stupider than normal, because I really wanted to play more of it, but I just couldn't handle it. After a while, I was just like, yeah, I can't get into this, but I really want to know the story. Game I shouldn't like but did. Rocket League is a game about football via cars, basically. You're sitting in cars and you bash a ball about. That's pretty much what it is. It is car football. It is basically, if Top Gear made a game, they would make Rocket League and call it Power League, probably. But I shouldn't like it. I don't like sports games, generally. I don't like football at all. I play Blood Bowl, and that's as close to football as I get. I don't like racing games or car games. The car game that I like the most is like Spin Tires, something like that. Very niche, but still quite fun. Rocket League, though, it's you knocking a football about, but it's very competitive. It's very well made. Very, very well made. It is skill-based. It's not about like how much money or how much time you're putting in. I guess it is a time thing, because obviously you get better at playing it generally, but as you got my online matchmaking again. Online games, I don't play a lot of them, but yeah, Rocket League, I shouldn't like the game, but I really bloody do, and it's up there. It's definitely in the top 10 of games I played this year. In fact, most of the things so far that I've said in this list are in the top 10. But I couldn't tell you what order. It just really depends on when you ask me. Game I thought, how the hell did they pull this off? City Skylines blew me away. I played that game and went, I don't know how they've done this. I mean, I would expect this from multi-million-dollar publishers who've put maybe 150 million into a game. Massive investments, massive payoff, blah, blah, whatever. But this wasn't. It was Paradox, a relatively small development team as far as I'm aware, but not an indie dev by any stretch. But they made this game that had simulated water and power, and you can dam up areas and everything would back up, and sewage and traffic and utilities and railways and shipping, and has it got airports? Can't remember. All this sort of stuff, all simulated, all runs well, beautifully looking. I couldn't believe it. When I still play that now and go, I just don't know how they've done this game. I really do not know how they've managed to pull this off. There's been some updates since then, and one of them's Nightlife, and it makes it one of the most beautiful looking games I have played this year. It's just, like I say, it is stylized, but it is a really, really nice looking game. And just, I still, to this day, do not understand how they've done it. Everybody pretty much said the same thing. This is what we wanted out of SimCity, and they didn't manage it. These guys did. How the arse did they do that? Game I didn't care about until I played it. Well, there's a couple of games like that. A couple of games that I go, it might be alright, and then try it and think, oh, this is cool. But when I played Ironcast, I really, really enjoyed it. I still think it is a great game. One of the best games played this year, and I didn't think I'd ever say that. It seems wrong saying that as well, because it's basically a match 3 game. Very, very basic. You match 3, and then it's sort of a roguelike as well, and you have a couple of characters and whatnot, and you have a mech that shoots through the mechs, and you have power and energy and armor and stuff like that. It's really weird as a game, and I saw a couple of screenshots of it and saw the emails I got sent through, and I wasn't really interested. Then I saw a video and went, it might be alright, and tried it, because I am a bit of a fan of Match 3, but it's one of those things where you don't expect it to be anything other than a little bit of a time sink, and then you fling it away. But I really, really liked Ironcast. But I honestly couldn't give a crap about it until I actually played the thing. It wasn't even on my radar. But once I played it, I went, this is just a fun game. It's just a really, really good fun game. Most nostalgic game I played. When I played Big Pharma, honestly, I was enjoying it, and I was thinking, well, this shouldn't... I mean, what they've done the old Bullfrog thing, and this is where the nostalgia comes from. They've taken what is generally a quite serious and often depressing topic, aka hospitals. So like Theme Hospital, for example, is hospitals, and that's generally you generally don't go to hospital just to have a bit of a laugh, do you? But they managed to do that. Big Pharma, again, it's the same sort of thing. You're basically making pharmaceuticals. You are part of a big company. Big pharmaceutical companies, if you start reading into it, is a very serious and depressing and frankly corrupt, really powerful thing. And they've basically Twice Circle have managed to take it into this really upbeat, quirky game, and it looks very nice, and it's very colourful, and the sound's very upbeat, and it is still it's not just like, oh look, it's quirky, it's got nothing else going for it, but it's a very smart game. You are making these pharmaceuticals, and you move things around, and you have to shift all of the drug properties and things, and it really just made me feel, I wish there was more games like this, games that are smart but also have a lot of style and a lot of character. And normally things go one way or the other, and it really managed to pull it off in that Big Pharma. So most nostalgic game I played this year by far. So, next award, most relaxing game I played. A good snowman is hard to build. I played right at the start of the year, and I almost forgot about it. And I think that would be a shame, because I think I completed it in just over 2 hours. It might have even just been under 2 hours. And it is basically about you building snowmen. And that is it. For a start, I can't think of any other game or any other thing to do in life that is more relaxing than just building a snowman. There's something quite nice and childish about it, but yet everybody can do it, and it's just really, really nice. I really wish I could do it now, but it's all drizzle outside, and it's like a couple of days before Christmas when I'm recording this. But either way, it was, when I played it, I was like, this is really relaxing. This is really nice. It's very, very I wouldn't say cute, but there's something about it. This sort of tugs at the heartstrings just a little bit. And the sound is very basic, and the music, like I say, very basic as well, but it's also very calming and relaxing. And it is a puzzle game at the end of the day, but it's still just very, you can play it at your own pace and just enjoy it. And I really, really like that. And I just hope that it doesn't get passed by, because as I said, it's the most Christmassy game on this list, I guess, but it still doesn't take away from it that it's a generally good game. And something you might want to check out. Anyway, next award, most characterful game. This goes to Armello, and when I mean characterful, I don't mean like more serious, most like hardcore, like things, for example, games, for example, still sheltered. You and your family hiding in a nuclear bunker from out from a war or from everybody being killed and whatnot. Basement where you make loads of drugs in a basement. This War of Mine, you survive in a bombed out city. All of them very serious games. But Armello, you play. It's a digital board game, and you play either a rat or a rabbit or a wolf. The king is a lion, and there's ravens going around, and it's really weird. It sounds like a really crap Saturday morning cartoon, but when you play it, it's got something about it, something that's a little bit different and quite nice. And when you see all the art and all the animations on the characters, when you see the art on the cards especially, it's just really, really nice. It's just, there's something about it that just gives it a really nice warmth and a lot of character that it really shouldn't have, because it is just a board game, but they managed to do what I would think is, what I've seen previously is something that's not been done well at all, which is take a board game and turn it into a computer game. And these guys actually went, you know what, we want to make a computer game like a board game. That's probably the better way to go about it. But either way, very warm, very characterful. I like Armello. The next one, most tense game. Now, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege I almost never touched because I thought it was overpriced. It was primarily a 5v5 modern online shooter, none of those things I like, but I thought, you know what? After the reviews people are giving it, and after reading more about it, I thought I would give it a go. So I got myself a copy, and it is the best multiplayer game I have played this year, definitely this year, maybe even the last couple. Obviously, Rocket League's up there as well, but there's something about Tom Clancy and the tension in it, in the Rainbow Six Siege, in the multiplayer especially. There's something about it. If you're defending, it's even worse. You're sitting there. You've barred up everything. You've knocked all of the stuff out the way that you don't want. You've barred up the doors and the roof, and you've put shields down and armor and maybe defenses and bombs, and you're waiting. And you've got sitting there, and the bomb is in the middle, or the hostage that you're trying to defend. And it's all quiet, and then bang, you hear a rumble, and a bit of dust falls from the ceiling, so you know they're upstairs, and you can hear footsteps. You know they're upstairs, and then you hear a little, and then it goes, one operator down. Someone died. Someone who was off earlier, who ran off somewhere, and then they died. You're now down to 4 people versus their 5. You're already at a disadvantage. They know where you are. You see a drone come in. They definitely know where you are. You try to shoot the drone. You miss, it runs off, you have to bail, and then just as you do that, the wall blows up next to you, and then there's a firefight, quick burst of action, and then it all quietens down. Another 2 people die, one of theirs, one of yours, whatever, and then it's all quiet again, and it's just, you're sitting there getting tenser, and just more going, oh crap, and it all gets to this point where it's a couple it might be 1v1 or 1v2 or whatever, and it's just a quick firefight, and then it's all over. But it's basically silence, ultimate terror, and it just slowly build up. And then it's just to a point where everything just explodes. And honestly, there's been times when I've finished games when it's been 1v1 and I've just managed to win it, and I've sort of just, I look at my hands and my hands are shaking, going, it's a teeth dryer. I can't believe I pulled that off, but it's certainly the most tense game I've played this year, maybe even in a long time. Best game soundtrack. Now, I play a lot of games, but Volume, I think I really like the Volume as a game, but without the soundtrack, I honestly thought it wouldn't be nowhere near as good as it was. It's not very subtle in any way, but it is a really, really big and nice soundtrack. I mean, there's obviously things like Party Hard and stuff as like a runner-up prize, because it's got a very clubby sort of theme track. You've got other games like Fallout 4 is quite good as well. That's not too bad at all. Neon Struct, if you watch the trailer for that, that's got a really good soundtrack as well. Big Farm is very upbeat and quirky, as I mentioned. So there's been a lot of good soundtracks, and I think a lot of game soundtracks get flung under the bus or just don't get heard a lot. Obviously movie soundtracks, they're all like sort of lauded, oh, that's great, blah, blah, blah. But game soundtracks tend to be just ignored, but that's a shame. But yeah. Volume, a really good game soundtrack. There's a lot more, obviously. There's loads of them out there. A lot of places are starting to do them live and stuff, like Fallout theme live and stuff. Like really cool, and Halo and stuff. Anyway, best game prototype. Now, I've only played 2 prototypes this year, so I'm going to mention them both. Runner-up is Deadbolt. It's basically a 2D side-scrolling, shoot everybody up. You play a guy who might be a bit insane. He thinks his death in the fireplace when it sets off, when it all starts lighting up, tells him who to kill, and he goes and kills loads of zombies that are on crack cocaine and stuff. It's a bit weird, but it's actually a really good game, and I'm looking forward to the full version if that actually comes. But the best soundtrack, the best prototype is Heat Signature. Heat Signature is the next game by Tom Francis, and you break into randomly generated spaceships and steal them. And I played several games of it. I think I featured it 3 times on the channel and played several hours of the thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know when it's actually coming out full or when the next update or like sort of public access is, but either way, I played that and went, wow, this is really interesting. As much as it had its flaws, because obviously it was a prototype. The fact that, you like the idea of going into randomly generated spaceships, it got boring after a while, because even though they were random, that was the point. That was the problem as well. They were random, but they were random. There was no objective set in there that's being handcrafted, so there's there wasn't any handcrafted bits in there, so it was a bit strange going around these ships, and sometimes the designs are a bit off. But either way, best prototype player this year, and you can zoom right out, and it was fun just flying around and making up your own missions. It was a bit like sort of GTA in that sense. We go, right, can I split this in half? Yes, I can. Doing different things in it, but definitely the best game prototype player this year, and looking forward to see what happens in the future. Best early access stroke in-dev game. Now, Besiege, believe it or not, I did start to play only at the start of this year. I think it was right at the start of January that I played Besiege, and it was almost the got another award of best looking game, because it is really stylized, but it is a beautiful looking game. Just the way it's been done is really, really nice, and it's fun because you can make loads of different things, and you can do all the objectives in pretty much whatever way you want. There's free build mode, there's all these parts, it's constantly being updated to add different bits in. It's not going as fast as I'd like, but that's just how it is, I guess. But as I said, it is definitely the best early access game I've played this year. I mean, you could say there's things like Big Pharma that came out in beta, so technically it was early access. Things also like Ronin that came out in early access, but I think it didn't benefit at all from that. Software Inc. again is out in early access and then in development and still being pushed forward. A lot of other games have done that, but either way, that is the best game that I've played this year. I mean, it was very close second. You would think it'd be Prison Architect, but no, I think because that was coming close to the end of its cycle for me to give it this one. But also things like Airships Conquer the Skies, that one again, you could probably say first one. But Besiege came out, a couple of levels, they've already added several levels since then, loads of new parts, and it's just really good. Best early access stroke in-dev game I've played this year. Second last award, best early access stroke in-dev game to be completed, has to go to Prison Architect. Finally, Prison Architect was released into version 1, and we've already seen 2 updates since then anyway, which has added more stuff. But when it actually, it's been in development for a couple of years now, at least 3 years, something like that. God, it seems actually quite a long time ago now. But either way, it finally got released. Obviously, a lot of bugs being polished off, still some in there, but nowhere near what it was actually like. You couldn't have really asked for a better development cycle. It was really good the way it worked, as in bringing new big chunks out every month. Obviously, that was really a bit of a toil for Chris and the other devs and stuff, but still, it was... When it came out, it was like a relief. It was a relief, and it showed you that a lot of these early access titles can and do work. Sadly, I don't think that's the trend. I think most sort of don't get anywhere or take a long time and might not even ever be finished, but they showed you that something can go from start to finish and be better for it. But Prison Architect, definitely the best early access stroke in-dev game I have seen being completed this year, and I'm going to be playing more of it, obviously. So Game of the Year, what could it be? Well, the runners-up, I'm not even going to bother the runners-up, it's Fallout 4, okay? Fallout 4 is something that I've been looking forward to for so long. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, Fallout 4, it's not as good as The Witcher 3, blah, blah, but remember, all of these things here, I have to have played them. I haven't played The Witcher 3, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5, but Fallout 4... It's weird to say it's the Game of the Year, because I don't think it is really greater than the sum of its parts, right? For example, the shooting is fine, but nothing more. The RPG bits in it are actually not that great. I think the main story is, even though it's the strongest they've had, it's a bit crap. I don't think there's any, when you get further into it, there's any right way to go, and I don't really know where to go with it. I haven't actually completed the story right to the end, but I do know what happens, because it's been spoiled for me by different people and by reading, by catching bits on the internet and stuff. Not personally reading, but just catching it. But Basically, I don't think the main story is that good. Some of the side quests are really just crap. They just go here and get this. But the world is amazing. Oh, and also they changed some of the lore as well. A lot of the lore's been changed since the previous games and stuff, which is really annoying. But the world is amazing. Wandering around it, just going, I've got a couple of hours, I'm going to go in that direction and see what I find. The characters are all good. Oh, the dialogue as well, the dialogue tree, where you can only select one of 4 options and never go back to the previous one, is absolute garbage. But it's a not bad looking game. Sounds alright, looks alright, plays alright. Typical Bethesda shonk all over it. But all of these things, all these problems, the more I play it, the more I go, this is what I want a game to be. Complete escapism. I can just immerse myself in this game for a bit and just wander around, do what I want, and just enjoy it. And that's why I'd happily just say, game of the year for me, Fallout 4. As I said, can't comment on any of the others. Maybe if I played anything else, I might have moved up there. I was almost going to say Rainbow Six Siege is my game of the year, but it isn't, because it just, as much as it's a good game, there's no great love for it. Whereas Fallout 4, I genuinely just really, really love that game. But as much as it's got much faults, I just like it anyway. So I can't really explain it. Either way, I'm sure you agree, stroke disagree, whatever. But that is the end of the generic award ceremony. We've managed to blast through this in about 25 odd minutes, which is better than the other ones. Either way, not a bad year. Overall, in year of gaming on the channel, I think it's been quite good. We've had some really good titles at the start and at the end of the year. In the middle, it got a bit dry for some reason. I think it was a lot of games did come out then, but it was a bit dry in that sort of area. And there's a lot of in-dev stuff and things like that. But for the most part, I played a lot of good games. I mean, I think I've done over close to 150 preview videos now. And I think probably close to, let's have a quick look, probably 50 of them I've done this year. So that is pretty much one preview video a week. I've started the Nostalgia series, so I've done 20 videos on that, and I started that this year. I've done, obviously, more seasons of Prison Architect, and different games like Besiege and Airships Conquer the Sky. Did one, I think we did, did we go back? Did we go back on... I was going to say, obviously, City Skylines we did a series on as well. Medieval Engineers tried it, but didn't really work out because of the game was too much chunk at the time. I did loads of the different series. Can't remember whether they went back and did Endless Legend, but Endless Legend is something I've been playing this year as well, but didn't get any awards because I awarded it too much last year, so, But it's still a good game, and it's still been updated and stuff. But either way, a lot of series, a lot of stuff on the channel, a lot of different things. Obviously, there's a sort of semi-build series with Fallout 4 as well, where we build random different things. Either way, been a good year for gaming. Loads of interesting different stuff. I think that's really what I'm taking away from this year, that we've had a lot of good stuff, a lot of absolute garbage as well, but I don't really feature it. I don't feature that stuff, so I don't see the point in shaming games, but it's just, I'll show you the good ones. That's what I like. That's what we do here. But basically, a lot of different interesting games and a lot of variety as well. There's nothing wrong with things like Fallout 4, big, long development cycle games that got a lot of money behind them, things like that. But then also the little games, I really like things like Big Pharma and Software Inc. and Airships and things like that. The games and Duskers and whatnot, and just games like that are just different, but not in they're a bit different, but they're also a bit crap type things. Games that are just good, and overall been a good year. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a very happy generic Yuletide festival, stroke happy holidays, stroke normal day, whatever you celebrate or not. Either way, I'm going to spend the next couple of days playing games, eating Christmas food, and enjoying some time with family, friends, and maybe just killing things online. Thank you very much for watching. As always, comments in the comments, and generic festive partings.